Hey, Coach Crystal here with a quick little episode on the playful life. Today, I want to talk about fitting the pieces of your puzzle together.
Welcome to the Playful Life podcast. I'm your host, Crystal. Growing up, I struggled with my weight, self-confidence, and body image, and like many in my teens, I developed an eating disorder. I battled codependent behavior, and it all affected my mental health. As the years went by, I learned and grew in healing, and I found serenity, really in empowering others to let go of their pasts and to embrace their own leadership in their health and well-being. Now it is my mission as a coach, author, speaker, and podcast host to inspire and empower you to live your best, most playful life. On this podcast, you will hear from our guests about their personal struggles and breakthroughs in their health, careers, and relationships. You'll also receive tips, knowledge, and inspiration to tackle your own health goals and start living the dreams on your heart. Ready? Let's play.
When I was a kid, we would go over and visit my grandparents, and my grandma Kadar would a lot of times have a puzzle sitting out on a card table in the living room. It was always really cool when she had the puzzle out. Sometimes if she didn't have the puzzle out, we would play cards on the card table. But when she did have the puzzle there, we were invited, the grandchildren were invited to come up, and try to put some of the pieces together. I just always really love that concept of having the pieces out. And when she would walk by it in the living room, maybe she'd sit down for just a few minutes and put some pieces together, or, we were just invited to be a part of that process as we were hanging out with the family. I often think of this analogy of the puzzle pieces when I think of my health or my career, or just really anything that I'm trying to achieve in my life. And I envision just like taking the box of puzzle pieces and dumping it out on the table. I feel like there's something so gratifying about that. At first, when you look at all those pieces, it seems overwhelming, right? Especially if you're doing a puzzle that's maybe 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 pieces. That can be a lot. And oftentimes they're really small and you have to really look at them intricately to see where they go. I don't know about you, but usually the first thing I do when I get the puzzle pieces all out is I flip them all over, right? You got to see what you're working with. The next thing I do is usually color code them. The yellows go here and all the oranges go there and the blues and the browns and all that, just so I know that maybe these are the pieces that are going to be going together. I don't know if it is ADD or what it is, but usually there's a certain limit of time that I can actually sit down and work on this puzzle. I'll just step away from it for a while, right? Maybe I'll come back to it tomorrow, maybe in a few days. And sometimes taking that step back and then coming back and looking at it again, I'm able to be like, oh, this was the piece that goes there. Like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? How did I not see that piece? So it's often like this in my life. I feel like sometimes all the ideas, all the things that I want, I just sort of dump them out. I dump them out on the table and just look at all of the pieces. And then I start to organize them. I go, okay, well, this is the area of finances. This is my health. This is nutrition or exercise or movement, rest. So getting all of these different areas just sort of organized and understanding where they might go. And then I find that it's super helpful to just take a step back. And this is where my higher power comes in and really works a lot of magic. So I actually invite God into this process of putting the puzzle pieces together. I say, hey, here are all the pieces. Here's everything that I want. And I know that eventually it's going to fit together. and conversion is going to come and all things are going to align. And I know in my heart that the things are going to work out the way they should, the way that God intends them to work out. But sometimes if I am just staring and staring at this puzzle and all these pieces and trying to figure out where they go and how they fit together, it just makes my eyes cross and makes me feel really frustrated. Being able to take a step back and say, okay, God, come in and move some of these pieces around, put them together. Even sometimes other people can help us put the pieces where they need to go. And God's in there, He's working, He's putting those pieces together, and then a friend or a mentor or someone in your circle of influence can have a little bit different perspective, and they come and they say, oh, no, why do you have those pieces over there? These clearly go over here. Like when my grandmother would have the grandchildren over and we would have a fresh perspective on this puzzle, and we'd be able to come in, and even if it was just a few pieces, and be like, okay, here's this one goes there, that one goes there, and putting our resources together, putting our minds together, we were able to complete a lot of these really challenging puzzles that were 2,000 pieces or more. Today, I invite you to, first of all, dump out all of the puzzle pieces. This can be a process of journaling, this can be a process of just meditating on it, or just simply thinking about all of the areas in your life that you want to affect some change and some of the areas that need to come together for you. Maybe that's something in your career or your relationships, your health, your wellness, your spiritual health and your spiritual journey with God. Wherever you feel like you want to improve or put some things together so that they can converge for you. The next step is simply just trying to organize it, understanding where those areas are, where your energy is going at the time, because honestly, sometimes we need more energy going to our health. Like, I am coming out of this crazy illness. I have no idea. I'm still actually dealing with some of it, but I've really had to put my exercise and things like that on the back burner. Sometimes just getting up and getting enough energy to do my job, get through the day, is really just taking a lot of brain power for me. So I am focusing on the rest, the restoration, vitamins, good nutrition, things like that, and just letting some of those other things rest for a bit. It's feeling like a more creative time for me, and so I'm really leaning into that. Where are those puzzles going, or the pieces of the puzzles going that need to fit in so that I can be more creative and have these connections and these networks? Invite in your higher power. Ask God to come in, help you just figure out where these pieces go, and actually envision God putting these pieces together, right? When you step away from it, it's like, I've had a puzzle before. We haven't done it in a while, but I remember the few times when my husband and I would have a puzzle, and I would leave it out on the table and I would put some pieces together. I walk away from it. Then he would come, he put some pieces together. And it was so exciting to come back to it and say like, oh yeah, look how much progress we're making together. Also, invite some friends along with you as well. Whoever those people are in your network, in your circle of influence, your mentors, people online, whoever that is, find those people who are going to support you and help further you in putting those pieces together for yourself. I would love to hear what the puzzle is that you are working on in your life and how some of those pieces are coming together for you. Share this episode on your social media and let me know. Tag me and give me a takeaway from this episode and what is helping you today. As always, stay playful.